So what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode, aka the opening night of the NBA is tonight. We have a special guest on today, the one, the only at Steven_Springs. Steven, what's up? Welcome. How are you feeling? Give me your first thoughts on it being opening night before we dive into anything.
Um, Opening night is fun. I'm actually watching the Phillies game instead of the Lakers game.
I know I was
I'm
going back and forth.
I'm checking out the score of the Lakers game, obviously, but like I don't know. I feel like every year that passes, I don't say I care less about the NBA, but you know what I mean. Like
Hmm.
it's not really like I'm not gonna sit down like I used to on a Tuesday or Wednesday and watch the game, actively watch it. I'll have it on in the background like I do now, but I'm not going to actively watch it. Now, I will say, and I was talking to my buddy last night. Um, yo, if Victor Wembanyama stays healthy, I don't think people understand. Like, there's nothing you can do. There's
Dude,
nothing you can do about him. Like, he is going to be the face of the league in like 3 years. If he stays healthy, he doesn't know what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like
no.
he's played overseas for his entire life. So
Hmm.
like he has no idea about the NBA game. Like no clue. Like but he's just gonna dominate everybody because he's 7'6". He's like KD, but like 7 inches taller.
This man, his jump shot is so different. I remember, so I have a group chat with my family, and my dad put in like a picture of Victor doing the block.
Uh-huh.
I think it was against Wiggins, and my mom was like, "They got to change the rules for goaltending." And my dad was like, "He wasn't even anywhere close to the
No,
goal. Like
no.
he could just get up that high."
And he can like I just really hope he stays healthy.
Hmm.
Like never doesn't have one of those like freak injuries. I know KD's had his injuries and he's come back, but it's just like his body type is just so different. I mean, it's
Yeah,
literally the same as Durant, but just like 7 inches taller. But he is 7'6". I don't know how much he weighs, but man, it's crazy to watch. I was watching his highlights. I think it was against the Warriors.
hmm,
And he was like staying with dudes out on the perimeter, like moving
yes,
his feet, and like you can't shoot over him. Did you see that? I think it was the Mavs. They were practicing with like football, like tackling dummies, but like stacking them
yes.
up
I know
or
that's all
like
they can
putting
do.
something up so you like a jump shot. You can't shoot over him. You can't block his shot. Like
Hmm.
if you try and put like a literal like bigger body like someone who's 260 or whatever, he'll just take him
Hmm.
out outside, and then he can probably take it to the hole on most people, which I don't think he will because of like the injury risk. But he doesn't have to because he can shoot from anywhere.
That's gonna be
He's probably
crazy.
gonna average like 5 blocks a game too. It's
He
crazy,
has to have at least a double double every single
dude.
game,
It's nuts. Yeah, right.
like
He
a
has
walking
to. It's
double double.
crazy. He's so big. His handles are crazy. He's like it's nuts, dude. I hope he stays healthy, just for like us as fans. I hope to God he
Yeah.
stays healthy, doesn't get hurt at all.
That's going to be
Um,
a game. So every single year, I end up going to like a football game with my friends, and I always put all of the tickets on my card so that I can end up getting the free points for Vivid Seats.
right.
And I was like, I would go to the Wizards Spurs game, but that shit is just going to be expensive. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be an expensive game. Like the
Yep.
Vivid Seats gives you free dollars and stuff. It's going to go through the roof with that. Even if I sit in the nosebleeds, it'll be
Yep.
through the roof.
I know we were all super hype, and there's still a level of hype for it, but I know we were all super hype when Zion Williamson came out of Duke. Um, I think it was like the same type of deal. Like he's so big, so fast, all that stuff. This is so much different
Hmm.
because this dude is just like he looks like an alien.
Yes.
Like he doesn't look like anything that we've ever seen before. Like
No.
we've seen dudes come out of college be super big. LeBron was like that. So we've seen guys like Zion come out. Like they were comparing him to LeBron or Barkley or whoever was like, that size coming out. There's literally
Hmm.
no one you can compare Victor Wembanyama to
No.
because he does not exist. That human
No.
does not exist ever.
No. So
Ever.
I'm gonna switch it because I know I want to end up bringing this conversation back up. But the big hot take that I have for today is actually spotlight is on you. So you went somewhere special recently.
I did.
I had some friends that also had gone out there, and as soon as like some of them texted me, all they said was sad. And I said, well, not gonna talk to this person. So how was the trip? How was everything, the experience from the time y'all took off to the time
Yeah.
you got back?
Yeah.
Did you have the same type of Uber driver that ended up driving on the side of the road to get you
No.
to the airport?
Okay, so yeah, I went to Columbus, Ohio for the Penn State Ohio State game. Me and my brother-in-law BJ. Shout out to BJ.
Shout out.
It look, dude. I don't care if we have anyone on this that's listening who is from Columbus, Ohio, who likes Ohio State. I don't care. I don't care if it offends them. Nothing. That city sucked. That was the worst trip
No.
I have taken. Even hand to God, even if we would have won, like sure, that makes the trip makes it worth it, right? It was still fun. I'll get to that. What I mean by that though, dude, no, I'm never going back. My uncle, shout out to Uncle Jeff, he told me a long time ago, once is enough in Columbus, Ohio, and it was, and he was absolutely right. The people we tailgated with, people who we hung out with Friday night. So we flew from BWI to Columbus. Flight there was 57 minutes, so that was super dope. Like got on and we got off. Uber drivers were fine. We were 20 minutes from the airport, whatever. Went out Friday night. That was dope. Whatever. Saturday, dude, I mean, obviously, it's just I'm sure there's like the pocket of people who live in Columbus, Ohio, that aren't Ohio State fans or swell. But dude, the people we tailgated with, they were dope. They had a great setup. It was awesome. Giant indoor tent, or like a tent with like a giant indoor space and all this food and whatnot. Literally, as soon as we left the tailgate to go to the stadium, we were just getting rocked by people. Just like the level of arrogance in that bubble that is, Ohio State. I know every fan base, I know every team or every fan base thinks their team is hot shit, right? No, this level is just something I haven't experienced yet. Like they think that they've won every national title in the history of college football. Like they can do no wrong. The colors are just ugly, scarlet and gray, awful colors. Just like they just look like really awful people, like really shitty people. They just look different.
No.
I hated it. I hated it. Losing sucked. Yeah, that was awful. Like losing was terrible. And also the fans in the stadium, in the game, 10 times worse than outside. Just yelling at us. Look, I get it. Like I've done that before too. We've all yelled at opposing fans, but it's like in good fun, right? I'm not calling people certain names. I'm not like spitting at people. And I get it. Being a Penn State fan, I need to, I carry this Sandusky thing all over the place. So that's the first thing people go to, right? Obviously, I've heard it all with that. Nothing bothers me. Like there's always a pocket of fans that you expect when they're super drunk, whatever. They just yell at you. You've seen them. I've seen them. We've all seen those people. For the large majority, the people who are at games are nice. I hear it all the time. There's people make their trip to State College for Penn State games. They say, yeah, we got booed at or yelled at by some of these kids, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But in large part, the fans were great. This is not the case. And literally every Penn State fan or person I've talked to that's been to Columbus for a game says the exact same thing. Awful experience. And the people, I mean, after the game, like it was amplified a lot because people were just hammered and they beat us. Like not much I can say after the game. Before the game, sure, I can reply if I want to. But dude, it was
this man was humbled.
Bro.
This man is so calm right now talking.
Dude, I was like, I think also not drinking was a big factor in me not doing anything back because if I was drinking, I mean, Lord knows I'd still be there. I'd probably be in a jail cell because I would. I mean, yeah. So it wasn't like I say it was fun. Like the experience of going out there and being able to do that and like having two kids, but like having my wife understand enough how much I need this in my life and like blessing me with the ability to go. Yeah, that's awesome. Like I went to Ann Arbor last year, I went to Columbus this year. I've been to a ton of different games. I'm going to more next year, whatever. And shout out again to my brother-in-law BJ who tags along. But this was a horrible trip. And I'm never going back to Columbus, Ohio. They can keep it. Everything about it. It was awful.
Steven.
0 out of 10. I'm not going back ever again. Unless I have to, like work-wise, or like I literally have no other option in this world than to go to Columbus, Ohio. Not doing it.
Dang,
like I'll go to Ann Arbor. Been to Ann Arbor 4 times. I'll gladly go back again. Bloomington, Indiana. Shout out to the Hoosiers. Been there. I'll go back. Been there twice actually. West Lafayette, Indiana, home of the Boilermakers. I'll go back. Absolutely. But at Columbus, no.
This man sounds like he went to hell and back.
Bro, I did. And the fact that we lost, Christian, the fact that we lost, the quick slants will be out this week. It's gonna be a very quick slant. It's like more like a comeback route. Like it's gonna be very quick. I'll explain everything about the game, and I go more in depth about my trip to Columbus too. So, yeah, it sucked. It wasn't a good game. Penn State couldn't do anything on offense. Defense was great. We held them. It's not like Ohio State was killing us. They only beat us by 8. So that sucked. But we got Indiana this weekend, noon, CBS, I think it is. We're favored by 32.5 right now. So we should dominate them. We have Maryland coming up next weekend, and then Michigan at home on November 11th. With Michigan's got a lot going on right now.
They do.
I'm sure you're following that. So who knows what's going to be happening with Michigan by that point? But yeah, it sucked. But we gotta go 1-0 this weekend.
Yeah, I was telling people that, and they were like, "What does that mean when he says they got to go 1-0?"
Also, almost before you keep going, I also want to say, and I texted you this. Shout out to all the boys who know not to text me.
Yeah,
and you alluded to it before I went on my rant. Shout out to all the boys, all the group chats I'm in, whatever. Everybody knows, even my wife knows, to give me X amount of hours or days, depending on the loss on the team, whatever. So shout out to all the homies. And I texted like some of the groups. I was like, I appreciate you guys not texting me.
not
and
saying anything.
Everyone's like, we understand. Like, we understand the assignment. Like, we're not, we might be dumb, but we're not stupid. So I appreciate the boys. So shout out to the homies.
Yeah, shout out. So that was kind of the big thing. I was watching the game. There were like 2 or 3 games I was watching. Also, for anyone, if it seems like I'm distracted, I'm looking at the playoffs game. It's game 7. So I've been like really focused on.
And also, I'm sure you'll agree with this. Marvin Harrison Jr. is real.
So that's the first thing I was going to say. If you ever listen to any of Steven's Quick Slants episodes, you always hear him talking about Mr. King, the cornerback for Penn State. And that was when you knew that Marvin Harrison Jr. was real, but the way he was able to, I don't want to say like have his way against
He did.
him, but
Kalen
he
King looked lost the entire game.
Yeah, like almost anything he wanted to do. And they said that, like, a lot of the announcers were saying this is like unprecedented for Kalen King to end up doing this. But Marvin Harrison Jr., they're both gonna be draft picks. Like, they're both gonna be picked. But Marvin Harrison Jr. kind of just shows so many different things similar to his dad.
He's an all-pro receiver already.
Yeah,
he's so good. And I knew that obviously going into the game. Like, I watched him all the time, but it's one of those things, like seeing him in person, and you're like, oh wow, he really does catch everything.
Yeah,
and like seeing the different angles on from like the stands and all that stuff, and like watching how things develop is from football eyes always fun, and watching that kind of stuff. But yeah, it was not our best performance. So we can just move on.
So I want to switch subjects, and it's a weird switch that I'm going to do, but it's something that I want to bring Steven into this. So it's the crypto and finance part that I always talk about. Usually I end up like showing pictures and stuff, and then Steven ends up giving his opinion. But this time around, I'm going to try to equate this to, so the 2 different things are Web 2 and Web 3. Web 3, they normally consider like cryptocurrency and NFTs. Web 2 are your regular businesses that are in the world. So it can be like Meta, or it can end up being X, or it can be like Square, different things like that. So what happened in the Web3 community is, I'm huge on Solana NFTs. I've talked to you guys about DeGods and stuff. There's 2 NFTs called Lilies, and the other one is Lotus Gang. So their founder just came out after 2 years and said that he's going to have to pause all different things that they're doing upon Lilies and Lotus Gang. He had different artwork that was out there, but he ended up just coming out and saying that he no longer can continue up with business because they don't have enough money and things like that. And transparency came out of them saying that the past 2 years, he paid himself. So he's an artist. He paid himself $100,000 each year. And then the developers, they end up paying for the developers around $300,000 or $400,000. They had less than $1 million that they end up making. And the equation that people are saying is, with this being necessarily a failed business, do they consider this a rug or just a failed business? And a lot of people are having the conversation of, if this happened in Web 2, let's just say, I don't know, DoorDash. If DoorDash came out and ended up saying, we just have to pause all things business wise because we don't have the money or anything like that, and we just can't continue, they would consider that a failed business. But they're considering him a rugger because he's just pausing and saying he can't do it anymore. The other thing they were saying is, does an artist in something that's a startup, let's compare it to DoorDash. Let's say when DoorDash first started, do you feel that the CEO and owner should pay himself $100,000 out the gate for the first 2 years, or should he be taking less money?
I mean, I guess it's like if you have it, if you earned it, and you can do it, like, yeah, like it's your business, like, right? Am I wrong?
No,
like,
so
or like, take less so you can obviously company can earn more over the first 2-3 years, whatever. But like, shit, it's your company. Do whatever you want, man.
And that's kind of the big thing that they always talk about, people counting other people's pockets. I at first when I heard it was thinking, yeah, you should never count people's pockets, because then when it comes back to you, it's going to be the biggest shit show ever. But they have to realize people are purchasing the art, and they kind of make it seem like it was so much more. Same thing with DoorDash. You're essentially purchasing the good, and that's kind of what it should be. And people are thinking, oh, why are you taking 100,000 and paying 300 to 400,000 for developers? They did say he was definitely overpaying for those in that regards. And the other thing I guess they were saying is, let's just say the amount is 800,000. 25% of the money, they said, went to himself, the owner, over 2 years. So some people were surprised at that, but at the same time, it's his business. He can kind of do what he wants to do. They never said he was great at money management. No. You guys just believed in him and stuff. And that's kind of the biggest thing. Same thing with any other business. They just failed with money management. So I just wanted your kind of 2 cents on the situation, because every single day on my timeline for like the past 2 to 3 days, that's all we've been hearing. And they kind of just say, I mean, what can you really do? Like, you're not going to get the money back. It's almost just a conversation starter at the end of the day with all of it. Yeah. So they were saying the total amount was $764,000 over 2 years. And the amount that he took for himself was $200,000. So over 2 years.
If you can do it, like mathematically and financially, you can do it. Why not? Right. Like, I would do it.
But here's the thing. He clearly, it was something that he didn't manage the money correctly, because if they have to pause all business,
well, that's his problem, right?
Exactly, and that's nobody else's, but everyone's trying to make
it's his company.
Exactly, he's the one that has to deal with it.
Like, like, for better or worse, it's his company. So like, if he wants to do it, like, fine, like, go ahead, dude. You got to know the consequences of potentially doing this. I'm sure there's people in his ear like, don't do this. Like, don't do that. It's a bad idea. Like, financial advisors or whatever, unless he was doing it all himself. And he thought then, like, his return or his, the company's profit over the next 2-3 years would be able to, like, negate the fact that he took that money out. And that, doesn't always work that way. Clearly didn't. But again, for better or worse, it's his company. So he's dealing with the consequences.
Exactly.
But shout out to homie for being a real one.
Yeah. Shout out.
Paper.
So other thing I wanted to do is that was the big thing I wanted to touch on over there. If you all listen to the different spaces that I have on, that's when I started touching on different things that I ended up purchasing recently. I went on a little bit of a shopping spree over there, but I want to segue this into the NBA, MLB, and NFL. The first one I want to bring up just real quick before we talk about the NBA is the playoffs. I will start and just say, I don't watch baseball throughout the regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, I can almost sit there and watch damn near a whole game. One, because they score. During the regular season, you might go to the whole game and only see one run.
Is that weird?
It's so weird, but they will turn it up. The other games. So last night, I was watching the Rangers and the Astros. There was over 10 runs scored in that game. You watched the Phillies and the Diamondback series.
This hitting bombs too, dude.
Yes.
Bombs.
And you don't know. You might have thought that the Phillies were going to take it easily. The Diamondbacks said they have something. The Dodgers are out. The Braves are out. All the Orioles, they were not even a thought in the beginning. It really came down to you almost thought it was going to be a rematch of last year with the Astros and the Phillies. And you have the Rangers. And who really knows at this point who's going to win between the Phillies and the Astros and the Diamondbacks? But it makes for a good game.
I don't like the Phillies because I'm grew up a Pittsburgh fan. Not that really has anything to do with it, but I was always told them this. I mean, whatever. Phillies sucks. But as a sports fan, I would love to see Bryce Harper hit a fucking nuke tonight.
Yeah,
It's an absolute bomb in this Philly crowd. Like get it going, like 6th inning. Maybe like a 2-run homer. Crowd's going crazy, already into it, and whatever. And he just hits a complete moonshot.
Yeah,
that would be super dope.
Which is
like very capable because that's what he's been doing all postseason.
Yeah, I was watching the game. I think it was yesterday. The Phillies and the Diamondbacks. For starters, I love the way the schedule is. It doesn't have like a lot of lapse time in between, so you remember the last moment because the game next game is the next day.
The NBA does that. The opposite. So annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you got to wait like game 1, game 2 are in LA, then like game on like a Monday, Tuesday, and then game 3 and 4 in Denver at like on like a Friday, Saturday. Why do we like just do it? Like you do it in the regular season, why not do it in the postseason?
Exactly. So like with this, I knew the game was over for the Diamondbacks to take it. The last game, they hit 2 home runs back to back on Nola. And I said, nope, this game is over. We're going to game 7. And that's just the heart that they have. But that's the only thing I wanted to bring up there. I want to touch on the NBA before we end it with our famous picks and everything. With the NBA season, what are you most looking forward to?
Victor Wembanyama, Yama, whatever it is.
So
for sure,
I'm
glad that and LeBron, obviously.
I was doing quick research just so we had it for this topic, and when Victor Wembanyama actually comes to DC, it's January 20th. So that's around the time my mom's birthday, and I said, you know what? Let me just surprise her for something like that, dude. If you try to sit, they already are way ahead of me. I thought I was doing something good. No, because the best you can get in the 100 level is essentially behind the basket, and you're going to have to pay $130. If you're trying to sit at like half court, it's $345. Yeah. So, but
dang,
if you want to sit in the 400s, it's $100.
That's man, that's yeah. Sign me up. I'll take a hundo.
You want to sit courtside? You paying $1,200. So
you mean 12,000?
No,
$1,200.
Like $1,218
for courtside seats.
For yeah. So you know how at the games it's not necessarily like the courtside. They have like those chairs that they put out, and behind like courtside, it's really there because courtside is clearly for like the wealthy.
If my wife didn't care, yes, I would absolutely buy those $1,200 tickets. But my wife would care, and I
yeah. So I was thinking, I was like, maybe I'll do the 130, but of course with tax and fees, it's coming out to like 160, and then after that, it's going to be 320. But I wanted to bring that up because there's something this year, and one of my friends hit me up about the in-season tournament and where the semifinals and finals going to be in Vegas. And he was like, yo, just fly out here and we'll just go to Vegas and go to the in-season tournament. So that's where I'm going to be in December. We're going to go to the semifinals of the East game and the West game. So that's kind of like the big thing over there. And I'll use this as a segue because that's the thing I'm excited for the NBA. For the NFL, of course, I do this every single year. So this Sunday, we will be at the Eagles-Commanders game. Me and the regular homies that always go to that one.
The regular homies.
The regular homies that go to the game. If it was a Penn State game, you know who I'd be with. But this one, we got to end up going to this one. I don't like the cold goddamn games. So this is like,
it's supposed to be 80 degrees this weekend.
No, it's beautiful.
Shout out.
Perfect for that. Because the game I really wanted to go to, the Eagles have a couple of nice games in Philly in November. Not going to those. They also played the Dolphins. And I was like, oh, that would have been a dope game. I promise you it was cold at that game. It was night too. Yeah, no. Yeah. Then I'd have to make the drive home. No, I'm good off of that. But this past week, and I'm bringing this up because all the sports bettors were talking about it and just regular individuals. This was a funky week in the NFL just in terms of games. Steven this week went 7-6. I went 4-10. And that's not even including the game last night. That's kind of before that. So Steven actually went 6-7. I went 3-11.
Oh, yeah.
And because nobody thought the 49ers were going to lose. And now it's crazy how after Brock Purdy loses 2 games, everyone's like, oh, I don't know if
Get
like
this
Brock
scrub out
Purdy.
of here. I fucking told you, bro. I told you guys so long ago that like you're really going to put the fate of your franchise winning a sorry, I don't want to say world championship, winning a Super Bowl in the hands of Brock Purdy.
Yep.
Ain't no way. Like, I love their defense. It's a great defense, but there's no way Brock Purdy is winning you a Super Bowl. No way. I know he does some good things. He's not like, I'm not saying he's dog shit, but he's not like he's not like, you can get away with that in college, having a really elite defense and having like a, mid-tier quarterback. Like, it doesn't always happen, but in college football, it can happen because it's college football. The NFL, no, dude. Who was the last mediocre quarterback won the Super Bowl?
Would you consider Joe Flacco mediocre?
No. Joe Flacco was a Pro Bowl quarterback.
Would you consider Trent Dilfer mediocre?
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was a long time ago. Him and I don't know why this is getting me so fired up. Him and Brad Johnson, quarterback for the Bucks, when they won it. Those were 2 of the best defenses ever in the NFL. Like, ever. That 2000 Ravens defense and the 2004 Bucks, something like that. 2 of the best defenses ever. So, like, yeah, those guys didn't have to do much. Just, like, don't be dumbasses. Yeah. Like, no. Dude, Brock Purdy, this is not, like this isn't, that, Bryce Harper. This isn't like the Seahawks defense or any of those defenses. This Niners defense is really good, but, like, not that. So let's pump the brakes on the Brock Purdy stuff. I told you that a long time ago.
It's crazy because looking at every Super Bowl since 2003, the last ones would have to be Trent Dilfer.
What are you looking at? Like, winning Super Bowl winning quarterbacks?
No, I'm looking at winners and losers of it, and that's it. Because half the time it was either Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Eli Manning, Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Like,
Brees.
I mean, I know people want to knock Eli Manning, but, like, no, he was a top tier quarterback at one point. Yeah, he was one of those dudes.
Like, the only one you might be able to argue is 2013 when it was the Ravens and the 49ers. But Colin Kaepernick, I mean, he did do decently then.
He was also really great. Like,
exactly.
When Manning won his first, when he was with the Colts, they played the Bears. Do you know who the quarterback of the Bears was? And you know why no one was picking the Bears to win? Their quarterback,
Rexy?
Rex Grossman. You're not picking Rex Grossman over Peyton Manning in the fucking Super Bowl. I'm sorry. You're just not. Rex Grossman, shout out to him, Florida Gator. I love him, but, like, ain't no way, dude. Ain't no way.
No.
So, no. Brock Purdy, great story for a couple of years, but, dude, get out of here.
Yeah. So, getting into our famous picks this week actually starts on Thursday. Bills Bucks. Who you have?
Oh, man, the Bills need a big one. Bills need a bounce back win. So I'm gonna go with the Bills. I know you're picking.
I gotta go with the Bills. Just throwing through. Pay attention for everyone out there that does fantasy, but also in real life. Dalton Kincaid. Dawson Knox is injured, and I do think that Dalton Kincaid can start to take over. Something else I learned: they say a lot of tight ends have the name Dalton. I don't know how that's possible, but
that's not a real thing. Whoever said that is lying.
Yeah, and another weird thing was that whole National Tight End Day. Don't really want to get into it. Rams Cowboys.
Rams Cowboys. Oof. I'm gonna go with Cowboys. Better team.
I'm going with the Cowboys, but the Rams do look kind of decent. They did get rid of their kicker, Maurer, because he definitely messed up that game. They really could have tied the game.
He was booty.
He did. Oh my God. And the coach said, you know what? Sean McVay was like, I'm not even going to hide this. Like, we're going to talk to the general manager about this. 2 field goals and an extra point. They only lost by 7.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Vikings, Packers.
Vikings.
Not the Vikings. They won yesterday. That was a game.
Dude, is this not the most random jersey that you've ever seen someone own?
It really, that's not Hutchinson, is it?
No, it's Jared Allen.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is from
Mr.
This is from
Country.
2010. This is their 50th anniversary. This is like authentic stuff, man. I got this as a Christmas gift from my aunt.
Damn.
Like, and this is the most random jersey. I'm like, I don't the Vikings? What? Like,
That's a
shout out though, but like, whatever. I might frame it at one point, but anyway,
that was
yeah, super random.
that was a player. Falcons Titans.
Oof. Titans are terrible. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons.
I'm going with the Falcons. Titans also just traded away their safety to the Eagles,
Yeah.
and Ryan Tannehill is probably not going to play, so it's going to be Will Levis or Malik Willis, and that's all we need to see there. Colts Titans.
Um, Anthony Richardson out for the season. Going to Minshew in at
Bro, this man
quarterback.
might be out for life. He needs to stop running the way he does.
Saints, you said, right?
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with the Saints. They're a better team.
I'm going with the Saints. They probably will have the speed this week since Chris Olave decides to speed.
Yeah.
Patriots Dolphins.
I'm gonna go with the Pats. I don't know why.
Okay.
There's nothing, even though they won yesterday or won on Sunday, nothing that says I should pick them, but I'm going to. So I'm gonna say the Pats.
Phillies just scored. That's a huge run for
Big
them.
time. Yeah, big time.
Yeah, in the fourth in this type of game. Yeah. I got the Dolphins. I just think that Tyreek Hill, there's no Christian Gonzalez, so I think that's going to play a big factor in it. Jets Giants.
Um,
This is a game.
I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Mm,
I see a big game from Saquon Barkley.
mm.
That I've been saying for 2 years.
Yep, every single time.
I'm gonna go with the Giants. I take back what I said last week. I trust Zach Wilson more than what's his name? Dude from the Steelers. Kenny Pickett.
Oh,
I don't know why I said that. I think I was just in the mood. No, that's not true. I'm gonna go Kenny Pickett on that one. But I'm picking the Giants.
I'm going with the Jets. I'll just trust
Wow.
that defense. Tyrod Taylor's doing pretty good. We'll talk about that next
Shout
week
out.
about the Tyrod Taylor and Daniel Jones conversation, but Jack Steelers.
I am gonna go with the Steelers. I have changed my mind. I am now
Oh,
picking them. I love the defense. This is the game where it's like, all right, you've done it 2 times in a row on offense, putting some stuff together. Let's see
mm-hmm.
what the Steelers are about. Let's see if we can keep going. Shout out to TJ Watt, man.
Shout out.
I've been kind of going back and forth on it in my mind about him versus Michael Parsons as the best defensive player in the league. Like TJ is a dog.
Yeah.
He had a pick. Did you see his pick?
Yes.
That was some free safety shit.
Exactly.
That was insane. He read the quarterback perfectly. Another run for the Phils. Oh no, bases. Oh, safe.
On the corners.
Yeah. Steelers.
I
Where's
got
that
the
at, by the way?
Jaguar. Pittsburgh.
Definitely Steelers then. Yes.
Yeah. Eagles Commanders.
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, Eagles big. Eagles big.
I'm going with the Eagles.
Eagles
The
big.
next game is a pretty important game, Texans Panthers, because there's been so much talk about this game. More so the quarterbacks.
What is that? Is that prime time or no?
No.
I didn't think so. I thought maybe they might put like that in that matchup.
The Panthers got to
The
win
Panthers
first.
are dog shit. I'm gonna go with the Panthers though. I'm gonna pull the upset.
Okay.
This is my the Patriots over the Dolphins isn't really an upset because it's the Patriots, but this would be an upset, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I know the Texans aren't that great, but I'm going with the upset pick here. This is my off the wall pick.
So I'm going with the Texans. Currently, the Texans are 0-0 when CJ Stroud comes off of a bye. I feel they're going to make this 1-0 after he comes off of a bye. So the Texans, Browns, Seahawks.
This is a weird game. DK Metcalf either is hurt or getting ejected from games or getting flags or something happening with him. Seahawks are a weird team. They're not very good.
Mm-hmm.
Bills, they're also weird. This could be like a 6-3 game.
Yeah.
It's one of those random ass unfortunate games, but I don't think it will be. I'm gonna go with the Browns, but contrary to what I just said, I think they win a barn burner. There's no defense in this game. I think Myles Garrett takes a week off from being the best, one of the best defensive players in the league. I think the Seahawks go crazy, but I think the Browns win a 45-42 game.
Damn.
No overtime.
I have the Seahawks. I think that the Browns are going to take off this week with their defense. They did well last week, and it's just going to disappear this week. Chiefs Broncos. I don't even think he's going to say it. Yeah. Okay. Ravens Cardinals.
Where's that at?
Arizona.
I'll go Ravens. Really quick. This whole Lamar thing, like cool, like you know what? No, I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna wait. I gotta wait till I go wait till the playoffs.
Bengals.
No, yeah, go ahead.
Bengals 49ers.
Bengals. Bengals coming off a bye week, I believe.
Yeah. I have the 49ers in this one. If they lose 3 in a row, there's going to be a lot of conversation over there in San Francisco. Bears Chargers.
Another weird game. What happened to Justin Fields? Did I miss that?
Oh, he dislocated his thumb.
Oh, word. Oh,
And
he popped
then,
back in, didn't he?
yeah, the way they say that, I'm just like, that's not a normal thing.
Like, yeah,
But
dude.
by
No
the way,
one.
he's going to be out a couple of weeks.
Oh, wow, that sucks. Definitely going to the Chargers then.
Yeah. I'm going with the Chargers, but Brandon Staley's not going to be there a long time for
No, he's
anyone out
not.
there
No,
who's
he's
wondering.
not.
Final game, Raiders Lions.
Ooh, ooh. Lions got humbled pretty quickly
Real
last
quick.
weekend.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go. I think they're still one of the better teams in the league. I think that's a fluke. I'm gonna go with the Lions.
So I have the Lions in that one too. Just as a recap for everyone out there, make sure to tune in for Steven's Quick Slants when he talks about the Ohio State and Penn State game. That's something I'm really looking forward to, kind of listening to the experience. Next week, we are going to dive into a lot of things with the NBA and then kind of choosing what we do every single year with the conferences and then like the players. And then we'll kind of start to give different predictions as to how we feel. Hopefully, it's not a Clippers Lakers thing again as to how I end up making my decision. But until next time, we out.
Peace.